Hey, Oldies Forever here. I just wanted to give you guys a couple reel tips about when you're buying reel or bait casting reel. Now, you can get two different kinds, there's two different kinds of bait casting reels. These are the low profile. They're just basically the skinnier version, but then there's the big cylinder version, and those are mostly just used. Well, those are the older versions, and then they still make some newer ones, and those are used for like big game fishing. So if you're wanting to do like any big game saltwater fishing or any, I guess there's some big game freshwater, but mostly saltwater. But this is traditionally what you're gonna get when you get a bait casting reel. You're gonna get just a simple, you reel it in and everything. It's really smooth, a lot smoother than spin cast. You got yeah, a little thing in here. This is where the line will be going, and it'll come on into your spool that's back here. And I'll talk about that in just a second. But when you bring this in, this actually spools it up and it slides back and forth to keep you pretty even. Now, sometimes it can load up a little bit more on one side, which I actually have on this other reel right now. But yeah, it's mostly smooth. And so there's two different kinds of spools. There is this kind, which is I think it's the low bar, is what they call it. But basically, it's just lower set. And then this one doesn't have, if you can see, there's little dimples, but they're not holes. And the other kind, it's a higher set and it's a little bit thicker, and they normally have the holes in them. Now, with this one, what you have to do is you have to take your line, you would feed it through your little, whatever you want to call that, and then you put it around here. You'd wrap it all the way around through the spool, just the spool. You wouldn't wrap it around the whole cast or around the whole reel. But you wrap it all the way around the reel, and then you would just tie a regular knot, just a regular loop it through twice, and then pull it down, cut off the tag end, and then apply tension and reel it in. With the other one, you would take where these dimples are, which would be holes, and you would put it through one and bring it out through another, and then you would tie the same thing there, cut off the tag line, reel it in. But anyway, these bait casting reels are good for a lot of things. They spinning cast are basically, or spinning reels are mostly like 10-pound test and lighter. That's what I always think. And then 12-pound and higher are bait cast. And personally, I like 12-pound test, even if you're going to be fishing for something as meaningless as a bluegill. And the reason for that is I would rather always have a higher pound test than I need rather than a lighter test and have a possibility of it breaking off. I've had too many broken lines on 8 and 10 pound tests, so I go 12 and above now. Um, but anyway, these reels, once you click this engage button, then it's automatically engaged the whole time. It'll reel out forever until you engage it. Now, this is kind of like a spin cast, but not exactly. Because with its open profile, when you take it and you cast it out, before it hits, you have to apply your thumb down. Now, this seems like kind of a nuisance, right? But with that extra little, just that extra thing to learn, just that one little thumb press, which granted can take you a long time to manage, but it really will help you in the long run because these bait casting reels are just so magnificent. I mean, they're so smooth and everything. You got on a spin cast reel, you got drag, right? Well, on here you have a reel tension button or dial, which this is basically like drag, but you have a drag star too, which is the main drag. But then you also have this one over here. What is that? All right. Well, basically, what this is you go with your reel tension. This is how you would fine tune it, right? So you fine tune. This is like your major set for how much tension there's going to be on the line. And then from here, once you get this about right, if you're just a little bit off, instead of trying to just twist it ever so slightly, then you come over here and this will adjust it even more. There are centrifugal brakes or magnetic brakes that are in here. And on most dials, you can, or on most reels, you can actually take the side off. But on none of mine, you can't. You can't on any of mine. Um, because I would rather keep it closed and then just let a professional be able to do it because I'm not an expert by any means. And but what you get here is, I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's a dial from zero all the way around to 10. If you take this, you can just take this and you can just twist it all the way around and stuff. Um, Basically, what you're wanting to do is you want to take it and put it at, I like to put it at 5, so just completely horizontal. Then I come over here and I do my reel tension. Then if the lure is falling at the pace that I about want, I need it a little bit faster or a little bit slower, then I adjust this side accordingly. And that's what you really want. You want your lure to fall about this fast, and you have to have a few inches off your line or of your line out for you to actually be able to test it. And every time you put on a new jig or a new, even if it's the same thing, even if you're putting on the same frog or the same jig, the same ounce, it doesn't matter. You still need to go back and you need to make sure that that way, when you're casting, you're accurate. Now your drag star, it adjusts. Oh, this one isn't even clicking. This one's smooth. But sorry. This adjusts like the amount of like if there was a little bit of weight, whether it would reel it in, compared to if there was only a lot of weight, would it be able to reel it in? And I mean that's all personal preference, really. I feel like, um, but there's some really good brands out there for these, like Quantum, Abu Garcia. This is a pin, or yeah, this one's a Pinnacle. This is a pretty good reel. I haven't actually, uh, I haven't gotten to fish with this one very much, but it's a great reel. Now the other option that if you're brand new to bait casting reels, this is a must-have. I don't know what it's called, but this button right here, you can see it if I give you a profile. This lets you adjust on and off what I like to call the beginner's helper. Now, like I said with this one, when you click it, it's released. No stopping it. You can't engage it again unless if you do this. But and when you do that, when you click it down, you release it. When it gets to your destination, you got to apply your thumb to slow it down. Because if not, you can get crazy backlash, which is basically your spool is spinning too fast and your line gets bird nested out. It just gets bunched up. It all keeps going around and it uncoils. And then if you try to reel in over that, and when you cast, it might get tangled and it might only go a certain distance. And that is just a pain in the buns. Now, if you're learning how to do anything, or learning how to bait cast, this is what you need. Because what this will do is if you click this and you let up, then it comes right back. Then it reapplies the tension, it re-engages itself by itself just by you releasing down. So let's just say you're chucking it out there and you're about to where you want to be, just let your thumb up. I mean, yeah, you're gonna, when you bring it down, you're gonna have to hold your spool in place while you're casting. But I mean, really, this is a great this is a great middle ground. I feel like for spin casters, even spinning reels, to go into bait casting, because bait casting is so unique in its own way that it's really tough to get used to. I mean, it took me probably 2.5, 3 weeks of casting inside my apartment and off the balcony and just out on the lake and everything. 2.5 weeks just to start not bird's nesting about every 10 tries, which it doesn't seem like that much. 10 casts, but go out next time you're out on the lake or anything. Count how many casts you cast. I guarantee it's 250 to 1,000 maybe, depending on how long you're out there. And that's a lot of casts. That's a lot of bird's nests. And every time you bird's nest, you got to stop what you're doing, engage your reel and then take your line and just strip it out, and then once you're done with that, then you got to re-engage it and apply tension the whole time while you're reeling it in, and that's just a pain in the butt. But so what you're gonna want is you're gonna want this little switch over here to the side. I mean, this thing still has everything else. It still has the star on the side, the drag star. It still has the reel tension. It still has your little dial off to the side. And this little bar right here, I'm not for sure exactly what it is. I haven't found that it does anything different, and it doesn't pull out all the way, but it does pull out just a little bit, like this. And what my guess is that it's for a hook, but I'm not for sure. So if any of you out there know what I'm talking about, uh, go ahead and give me a video or a comment or something about what this is. I'm not 100%. I mean, it hasn't affected my casting tight or loose at all. So, but yeah. So you guys definitely need to check out these bait casting reels. It's a revolution, and it's really amazing the things that you can do with a bait casting reel. But be careful; those birds' nests will kill you.